Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, this is Color Me Bad, and they're going to be in our background for a moment. This video, my hope is not to be long. I was watching the news talking about Stormy Daniels, and I am finding it amazing that this prostitute wants to have people give her 15 minutes of fame. And I just, she found Donald Trump, and I just said to myself, President Donald Trump. And I decided to do a search on Google to see if anybody else had come up with President Donald Trump. And of course they have. And here's the main picture right here. And ladies and gentlemen, the woman, and some people are not going to like the fact that I'm going to say this, and I apologize to you in advance. But the woman who found this creature attractive, or maybe she didn't, maybe she'll just sleep with anything, wants people to feel sorry for her. And so 60 Minutes, they want to give her minutes of fame because all they're interested in is ratings. I mentioned earlier, and I'm just talking, we're going to cover a couple of things. I'm going to give you guys some information about debt because a lot of people are concerned about debt, and I'm going to tell you, as I said before, what I would do in certain situations. I haven't been able to deal with a lot of situations because I just don't have it the way you guys have it. Sorry. I can't say I wish I did because I'd be lying. Okay? And I know for a fact I'd be lying if I said, I wish I had it like you. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, Stormy and all of that junk you're seeing on the news right now, let's find out what they are announcing as, what's the word for it? Sorry, I just rooted one of my cell phones, and so by rooting the cell phone, and there's that Stormy Daniels. This is the stuff they want you all to believe is news. And then the fact that Duke and Kansas are in a playoff fight, this is what they want you to think is news. So let me tell you what the news is. Let me tell you what as Donald Trump would say, the fake news is. Do you remember that idiot putting tariffs on China? Ladies and gentlemen, putting tariffs on China affects the economy, the world economy, not just the American economy. He put tariffs on China so that he can do his austerity programs. They need to take more money out of your pocket. Most of you buy products that are made in China. Those are the cheaper products. Why? Not because China makes some cheap stuff, and some of the stuff they make is cheap, but because China has a larger population, so their warehouses, their factories are larger because they can employ larger amounts of people, and they can do it for a lot less than they would do it here in America. So American companies have been getting upset at China because China, as they believe, was getting over by importing cheaper goods into America. But remember, this is what they started in the 70s. This is when they started outsourcing jobs. This was done on purpose. So by putting tariffs on China, China has no other resort but to raise the cost of its products. You notice they didn't put any tariffs on Japan. Why? Because Japanese products cost a whole lot more than China products. They know what they're doing. This is not a mistake. They didn't make an accident. They know exactly what they're doing. They know what they're doing to you. They know that they are moving you out of the market. Backstreet, not Backstreet Boys, no, Backstreet. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just wish more people were paying attention. I just wish more people were out of the conspiracy realm of things, because the conversations I'm having with a lot of people still want to hang on to conspiracy. Well, when you talk about Donald Trump, you're talking. No, I'm not talking about conspiracy there. I'm letting you know it's not a conspiracy if they're not hiding it. Do you understand? It's not a conspiracy if they are not hiding what they're doing. Before 2018 even began, I told you guys what they were going to do at the beginning of the year. I said they are going to have one crisis of a shooting, and then they're going to have another one, and then there's going to be all about gun control, and then you're going to hear they're going to make it to where everybody's talking about gun control. Well, look, they're having a march for our lives. Run for your lives. No, march for your lives. Do you guys think that this was a coincidence that in the month of March they come up with March for Your Lives? They couldn't do it in February because that was Black History Month. Oh, no, that would have been horrible. The backlash from that would have been horrible because somebody would have complained. Okay? So they couldn't do it in February. No, they had to wait for March. They couldn't do it in April. It could not happen in April. It had to have happened in March. Interesting, ain't it? This is the world we live in. So what can you do? Well, you're going to have to start getting it, people. It's not that I know what I know because I'm smarter than everybody else. I'm smarter than the average bear. Ah, boo-boo. How's about a picnic basket? Yeah, Mr. Ranger, sir. Just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not an issue of who's smarter than who. It is an issue as to what are you paying attention to? Okay, for instance, let me show you guys what's going on. You see these stories right here? And they call these the headlines. Whose headline? Who made these the most important stories? They keep talking about the Me Too movement. Me Too movement, Me Too moment. They keep talking about the same stuff over and over and over again. Ladies and gentlemen, no. You don't get to do that. You don't get to talk about this stupid junk that nobody cares about. Nobody cares. None of this stuff is headline. Nobody cares about this junk. Strange monkey with human-like face breaks the internet. Oh no! They found a monkey with a face that looks like a human. And ladies and gentlemen, this is supposed to be news. Why is this news? Now, the fact that these individuals were killed by some toxic gas in Mexico, that is important to me. The question is why? Why were they the only ones killed? Or were they the only ones killed? I'd be interested in knowing a little bit more about that story. Okay. It is amazing that people are not paying attention. Okay, what's the important things going on right now, ladies and gentlemen? What's the most important thing going on right now? Well, for all of you, it's the same thing. So let's do something. The national debt relief. A lot of people have been doing research on debt relief, national debt relief. Okay, now pay attention. The public debt is $14.3 trillion. That's not true. There's no way in the world it could be $14.3 trillion because there's hypothecation, derivatives, hedge funds. Trust me, it's nowhere near 14. The current debt is greater than 19 trillion. Intragovernmental debt, whatever happened to the $2.3 billion that, oh, excuse me, 2.3, I said 2.3 billion, $2.3 trillion $2.3 trillion that remains missing and unaccounted for. What about the $2.3 billion that remains unaccounted for by the Department of Military, Department of Defense? So, ladies and gentlemen, what you guys are not understanding is there's this thing. It's called economy and market. You'll even hear them put the two phrases together, a marketed economy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that has nothing to do with the public debt. The market has nothing to do with the nation's state of being. The economy, the market was created when they went into bankruptcy. Why? Because they had to put up a screen. Look, people, if everybody's in bankruptcy, and all of you are in bankruptcy, every last one of you, you're public. United States is a country of individuals, groups of people, as one. We're all bankrupt as a group. If the United States is bankrupt, then you're bankrupt too, and you all haven't understood that. Buying gold ain't the solution. You can't buy your way out of debt. Isn't that what people have been telling you for years? You cannot buy your way out of debt. You cannot. The only way to come out of debt is to pay off the creditors. Well, you can't pay off the creditors because you have nothing by which to pay them off. So, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing that you can do is challenge the so-called declaration of bankruptcy. Put it on the people who it belongs on. Don't argue with who's to blame. Argue with the fact that they introduced that act, that law, and they announced that they did so without congressional authority and constitutional authority. Now, what do you mean without congressional authority? I thought Congress said, give me a second, I was watching the meeting earlier today of this. I'm looking for that page, so that's why I say give me a second, because I didn't plan this. I think it's going to be in this one. It's either going to be in this one or... No, I can't open that one because that's somebody's email. So you guys are going to have to hold on because it's definitely... Yeah, you guys are going to have to hold on for 1 second. Y'all don't mind? 1 second. Yeah, Stephanie Mills has come about, y'all. And she's talking about how she feels, y'all. Come on, Stephanie. What's going on with you, young lady? There you go. Ooh, she needs comfort, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, this is the act that did it all. The act that this is nothing about them taking your energy or anything like that, or your future, anything. They're not betting on your future, nothing, ladies and gentlemen. What they have done is they have worked out a deal with their creditors. You see, the creditors being the banks, they know that what they cannot do is they cannot get their money, because you can't get blood from a turnip. So they are not going to get their monies if the people panicked. So what did they do? They created a mirage, a fake system, a matrix. It's called the economy. Do you guys understand? It's called the economy. The economy is the matrix. That's the system they created. And everybody has been slowly indoctrinated into that system. Remember, the stock market was what crashed in 1928. It crashed. So how did it get to where it is today? And it keeps dropping and keeps going back up, keeps dropping, keeps going back, because they're manipulating it. But remember, Congress said that they have delegated their authority to the president, giving him extraordinary powers, beyond the ordinary powers, beyond the congressional power. Why? Because ordinary is normal. They were going beyond the Constitution. It's what they're telling you. That's why they say this vast gave him a whole lot the president, not Trump, but the executive office, range of powers taken together, bringing them all together, and that's how they're doing everything, confers enough authority to rule this country. Why? Because they used the emergency. And while they were doing the emergency thing, they were making people think that they were actually giving them something in the bank. At first, they told the people, we're bankrupt. We're declaring a banking holiday. Man, things are that bad. And then the next thing you know, they're telling people, oh yeah, you can go and exchange your gold for this paper. Yeah, we just printed it up. So, just give us everything out of your house and we'll give you this paper. And you go ahead and do whatever you want to with the paper. Oh, no, the paper's only going to have the value that you guys put into it. So as long as you continue to use this paper, we can evaluate it. We can give it some kind of foundation. But it's too late. You can't stop using the paper. You need the legal tender. Many of you were taught that the banks produce the money out of thin air. Ladies and gentlemen, the banks do not produce legal tender out of thin air. There is something that they do produce out of thin air, but it is not money. You see, what the banks do is they issue these letters of credit. These letter of credits become United States obligation. Ladies and gentlemen, understand, the banks don't produce money. They do not produce legal tender. They're called Federal Reserve notes, but the Treasury is the one who prints Federal Reserve notes. They come from the U.S. Mint, Bureau of Printing and Engraving, to the Federal Reserve Bank. And even if they are printed at the Federal Reserve, it's being done under the Bureau of Printing and Engraving through the Treasury Department. The Federal Reserve doesn't print any bills. They do so under the guise of the Treasury Department. You got to understand, there's a foundational system here. The banks do not have the right to print Federal Reserve notes or, pay attention, legal tender. The Federal Reserve Act doesn't allow them to. It only allows the Treasury to do so. Go back and read. Even the March 9, 1933 Act only permits the Treasury to print legal tender. See, if the banks could print legal tender, then they can literally take over the government. Well, the government is not going to ever let that happen. Why do you think the executive office has the capacity of commander-in-chief? That's how the banks will never take over this country, because the military will never allow it. And if you think they control the military, you got 1,000 other things coming to you. The men who control the military are the men who run this world. And they're in line with the bankers, but the bankers do not control the U.S. military. Sorry. Keith Sweat! That's Keith, y'all, when he was younger. All right. So let's get back to reality so that all of you understand. This is how debt works. Now, there are two things. I did a video earlier about land patents, and a young lady, bless her sweet little heart, and I can't think of the young lady's name, and I'm sorry for not remembering your name, but a lot of stuff has been going on. A lot of stuff. So she sent me a publication. Okay? Now, PDF, allodial title and land patent book, Archives of Ontario. But you guys need to all understand something. Land patents are not going to change. Okay, here's the problem that most people don't look. Says the highest evidence of title and have never been refuted by any court of competent jurisdiction. Land patents to this very day. But a lot of people go off of this from the Freedom School and other places like that, and that's all they want to stick to. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't do that. That is just one person's opinion. So where do you go to get the information on land patents and how to do a land patent? Because you keep hearing people talk about allodial title. Well, fine. We know what allodial means. Absolute. Okay, that's what it means. Absolute title. How do I know that? I just know. You don't believe me? Okay, watch this. Hold on. Shut up. Shut up, because see, See, freehold, allodial, freehold history. That now there's right there. Defend rural America. And that's why I say you can't go. Let's go search with bang. Bang, 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 bang. You know, this song came out. All I can tell you is when this young man came out, he could not have come out at a different time, better period. His music would not work today. It would not have worked in the 70s. It could only have worked in the early 80s. It's just the way it was. Oh, wait, look at this. Allodial title constitute ownership of real property, land, building, and fixtures that is independent of any superior landlord. Absolute, y'all. Okay? Allodial title is related to the concept of land held in allodium, or land ownership by occupancy and defense of the land. Historically, much of land was uninhabited and could be therefore held in allodium. It just means absolute title, people. That means that no one else can hold a better title than you. That you are the, pay attention to the word, ladies and gentlemen, you are the king. Landlord. Lord meaning king. And you see it associates allodial title with fee simple. Okay, basically fee simple means that there can't be any taxes on it. So when you do your land patents and you accept it, pay attention, you accept and acknowledge it in fee simple. Seriously, just, I'm not joking, you do it in fee simple. See? Radio overlord. I'm the overlord? Oh, look at that. I am the over God. I'm the God. I'm the God. That's what it means, absolute. Superior title. But what you all don't know is this world doesn't belong to you. The land doesn't belong to you. You could never have a allodial title in a logical sense, but neither could anyone else. No one could have a superior claim to your title of land. Why? Because it's not theirs either. You can't do something stupid like accepting it in the name of God, because that doesn't work either. Because God is not going to put his claim on the public record at no county building. So those of you who want to mix in the Bible with this stuff, please understand you're doing yourself a lot of harm, because the idiots who run the system know that you can't do that. Okay? The idiots who run the system know that you don't have the authority to do that. So whenever you bring in anything about God and the scriptures say this and the scriptures say that, if you don't do it the right way, people, they're not listening to you. It has no weight. Can you do it? Can you do it? Is it possible? Of course it is. Okay? Of course it is. But you are going to have to do it the right way. I can't tell you how to do it. Do you know why? Because many of you have your different beliefs. You have your different concepts of who God is. And you have your different concepts of scripture. Yeah, because you've done your little bit of itty bitty tinsy winny, any winny, winsy winny bit of studying of the Bible, you think you know what you don't know. You think that you have, how would you say, a right to do this, a right to do that. And you don't. You think you have the right to interpret scripture, and you don't. And that is a shame. It really, 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 really is a shame. let's get back to reality. Now, today, everything is good. Took a trip to the store, got myself some okra, because I'm getting ready to make myself some jambalaya. That's right, I said jambalaya. And the reason why I'm getting ready to make myself some jambalaya is because I haven't, well, I'm making it tomorrow. I'm not making it today. It's too late for me to start cooking jambalaya. But I haven't had it in a while. And myself and the young lady whose home I happen to occupy, we were talking the other day as she was driving me to the county recorder. And I mentioned to her about how there was this teacher of mine when I was studying to become a truck driver, a tanker. I drove tankers, ladies and gentlemen. You know, those big, huge, could you imagine me behind the wheel of a tanker? I had one rule while I drove trucks. Do not slam on your brakes in front of me. That was my number one rule. Do not jump out in front of me thinking I'm going to stop on a dime. That was my one rule. Because the rule was, that's what you get for thinking. That was the rule. Never had an accident, never ran over anybody, never ran over anything. As a matter of fact, I pride myself with my driving because I could take that 53-foot long trailer plus that 15 to 18 foot long. Well, I drove conventional, so you call it the truck with the nose on it. I hated the cab overs, couldn't stand cab overs. I needed a conventional truck. I don't like Peterbilts. I like Freightliners. Sorry, I don't like Max. I like Freightliners. Everybody says it's a bunch of plastic, but Freightliners have come a long way, y'all. And so I like Freightliners. Well, anyway, anywho, getting back to the story. All of you need to get it where we are in a stream of time. The only way that you're going to be able to get through to the system is to use its own junk against them. So as I told you, you have to go into the court, and the way you go into the court is you bring up their junk. What junk am I talking about? They did this to you. You didn't do this to yourself. They did this to you. You bring up the fact that they made that law. You challenge the law, people. Those of you who've lost your homes, challenge the stupid insurance and the trading of the property on the market, and you're not being given any of the proceeds from the trading of your property on the market. Remember, your property had nothing to do with the loan. The loan was for monies. To prove it, look at who the buyer was and who the seller was. The loan was not for a home. The loan was a personal loan that the bank gave you because, pay attention, it was a government obligation. They were doing it on behalf of the government. The government reimbursed them, which is why they get to put paid to the order of on the stupid promissory note and have their accounts credited by the Treasury. Has it dawned on you yet? Have you gotten it yet? I don't think you have. My hope is that you will, but I don't think that you have. Okay? So my job is to help you get there. So you sue them. And I know some of you are afraid of filing a lawsuit. Ladies and gentlemen, that's because you think you have to make it complicated. Okay, watch this, because many of you guys are afraid of the federal court. First, the way you do a lawsuit, and we're going to do this for about 30 more minutes, but the way you do a lawsuit is, watch this. Now, let's see, we want to do a federal lawsuit. Let's see. Because I told you, one of the things you're going to bring up is insurance fraud. So I did federal lawsuit, and this is Bing, this is not even Google. Okay, sample complaints, suit and torts. Don't worry about the word tort. Do your research on what a tort claim is. See, civil complaint sample, California. Sample form for federal lawsuit, District of Atlanta? We don't care. It's just a sample lawsuit, people. Look, this is Kingsley Law, free legal form, complaint for fraud. So the suits are already written. All you got to do is add your own 2 cents to it. But what you'll have to do, and this is what some of you are not doing, I told you that the banks know that you had, what you mean I can't get there? Say it can't be displayed. What you mean can't be displayed? You better display it. Kingsley ain't out of business, is he? Sitting up there putting up these complaint forms and Kingsley don't exist no more? Look at that. HTML probably don't exist no more, y'all. So we won't be going to Kingsley. It's an HTML. All right. Yeah, we won't be going to Kingsley. So TikTok, come on now. Hurry up now. Hold on. There we go. Examples of complaints in various cases. See, sample complaint for damages. And that one says mortgage home loan. Okay? You don't want to bring up everything in the complaint. Okay? These are tort claims. Basically, you're claiming that somebody's caused you injury. Breach of covenant not to compete. Nobody cares about that. Property damage. Ladies and gentlemen, I would definitely bring up a lawsuit for property damage, but I can do it because I can get technical. Okay? We don't want pregnancy. No, we don't need pregnancy. Breach of contract, real estate lawsuit. Breach of contract, fraud. You want to do constructive fraud. You don't want to just say fraud. Fraud has 5 elements. 4 elements. A crime has 5 elements. Fraud has 4 elements. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to bring up fraud. You want to bring up constructive fraud. Okay? Just that simple. So here you are. And this website is basically Miller and Zois, Zebra. Anyway, this is the website, Miller, and is AND.com. Okay? And they have templates. So I would do the breach of contract fraud. This is real estate. So I'm going to tell you can do both. And look, it is basically copy and paste, ladies and gentlemen. And I want you to see, look, wait, just so you guys understand, look how long this lawsuit is. Hold on. It ain't even a full page. But you guys are worried. You're stressing. Okay? You're worried because you think it has to say all of that junk so many other people's stuff have said. Okay? It doesn't. Oh, and you always do those 1 through 50, those 1 through 10, just in case you don't know the person's name. Patty. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am directing you to Miller and Zois, or Zeus. Anyway, I'm definitely suggesting that you take a trip here. Those of you who want to put together the federal questions, I'm going to suggest that you use a basic, simple form like that for your federal questions. Like I said, you guys are going to have to give me about 2 weeks now, not this week, but the following week to go ahead and get that together, because right this week I'm working on our federal lawsuit. Now, our federal lawsuit is going after them because of the fraud. Now, they've already taken one home and they're coming after another. Okay? And so that's why my focus is on this. And I have to give this my undivided attention. Then I got the Defrauded Homeowners of America lawsuit. And we're getting ready to file a secondary suit for separate issues in that case. And then we're going to file the same case on the state level in several different states. Because I have all of this going on, ladies and gentlemen, I can't entertain. That's my phone. Hold on. I'm doing a video. Let me call you back when I finish. Okay, goodbye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I could have put you guys on pause while doing that, but I'm too tired. No, I'm not tired like I was a couple of days ago. Got very good energy today, even though I didn't get a lot of sleep last night at all, but I got rest. And that's a big issue with me. There's a big difference between sleep and rest. I get on average 5 to 8 hours of sleep a night, but I don't get rest. I don't get to that REM stage. And so my focus these days is REM without medication. So I'm pointing you to where you can download the lawsuit. You can write your own lawsuit. I'm giving you what you can bring your lawsuit about, ladies and gentlemen. This site will let you know what you can bring your lawsuit about. People, what I'm trying to say is the information is right there. All of it is there, but see, some of you are going to want to add and bring this, and you want to talk about the kitchen sink and the bathtub and the faucets, and then you want to talk about how it rained last year, and you want to talk about Grandma Sissy, and you know Grandma Sissy. You know how she can be, ooh, doggy, and she wants to make sure you spell her name right. And then you guys put together a lawsuit, and next thing you know, it's 100 pages. The Defrauded Homeowners America lawsuit was 100 pages on purpose because we were using what the Attorney General put in. But you guys are not attorneys. Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand? You guys are not attorneys. Because you're not attorneys, stop it, people. Stop trying to be attorneys. That's why this website, with these attorneys, they're not really trying to help you. They're just trying to make a name for themselves. Because when you run into problems, you're going to call them. Free consultation. You're going to call them. That's where they're going to make their money. But you guys all talk about you want to pay me. Call them up and ask them. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to give you the party line. They're going to tell you exactly what all the other attorneys will tell you. They're going to tell you, no, you can't sue for that because that's only for this, that's only. They're going to tell you can't sue for fraud. Because I'm paying the premium, of course I can sue for fraud. I paid the premiums for that insurance. What am I paying the premium for? Why am I paying for insurance if I'm not being protected? Well, it's there to protect the bank. Yes, to keep them from foreclosing on my home. It's called mortgage insurance. That's to protect me. The mortgage is not on my loan. It's on the property. But you guys are not paying attention. That's what they want you to believe. The mortgage is on the loan. It's not on the home. Pay attention. The mortgage is on the loan, not on the home. Pay attention. The mortgage is on the loan. Your promise to pay back the loan, not your promise to pay back the home. Are you understanding? So if the mortgage is on the loan, isn't that why you have insurance? And if the insurance doesn't pay, isn't that why they put up the home as collateral? Shh. Oh, this is Anthony Davis. He's singing words. Okay. Sorry. Anthony Davis, like I said, his first album, perfect. He could not have done better. For his debut album, perfect. Okay. More than words, y'all. Then next thing you know, he puts out a second album, and in my opinion, Anthony, you could have done a whole lot better. And I don't care if you got such a big head that you can't take criticism. Live with it. All right. Let's get back to your discharging your debt. You know, the biggest problem with you and everyone else is that you guys will write these instruments and the bank. I'm sorry, you guys are hilarious. The bank sends you back a letter saying, this is bull crap, we ain't accepting this bull. Okay, and then you, what am I gonna do? They ain't gonna dump my paper. They know that my paper. They know I wrote the paper on my computer. And there I go, here you got paper. And they ain't dumping it. I get them the new out money order, government obligation. They ain't gonna accept it. What am I gonna do? Come on, EeoN, tell me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the problem is you don't have the fortitude to get their attention. You want to make them start accepting your bills of exchange? You want to make them start accepting your government obligation? I told you at the beginning of this video, I'm going to tell you again. When the United States declared bankruptcy, I want you to understand, because they said it, but nobody paid attention to it. I've been telling you, but nobody paid attention. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's make this bigger. Oh God, it ain't letting me make the screen. Yeah. Oh, that's right. This is a different, I see what it is. Okay. The reason why this is a different web browser. So if this was, nah, forget that. Because it ain't even letting me operate the way I want. And that's probably because I'm doing a virus scan right now in the background, y'all. And so we're going to go to the weekend meeting one. We're going to come down here, downhill, right here. And we're going to go right here. And we're going to go right there. And we're going to go there. Hey, look at there. There's an elephant. Donald Trump. I didn't plan that, ladies and gentlemen. I did not plan that. I assure you I didn't plan that. That is just a picture that showed up today. See, this one I get to make larger. So let's get down to the section that we were talking about so I can show you where you all have not been paying attention. And like I said, you see these words, all these other words that these people put in this article? That's their opinion. I don't give about their opinion. Okay, I don't care about their opinion. Just like I don't care about your opinion. You can keep your opinion to yourself. You can hold on to it, wrap it around your neck, and hang yourself with it if you want. I don't care about your opinion. What I care about is the facts, what the law says. When it comes to scripture, what the Bible says. Not what you want it to say, but what it actually says, and if it's backed up at least 3 other times. Well, guess what? The facts of this have been backed up at least 12 different times, in 12 different sessions. We have showed you. That's why I had people pulling up the original conversation so we can back it up. So first it was backed up by March 9, 1933, and the presidential proclamation. So we had those, remember? Then we have the actual Senate report of 1973. Then we have the Federal Emergency Relief Act. Okay? Then we have the actual, pay attention, National Emergency Act. We have it backed up in so many different areas. Then 12 U.S.C. 411. So we can prove the bankruptcy now. Then we got Mr. Trafficant getting on the congressional floor before the public and announcing to the public that the United States was in Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And Congress was the trustees. That's why it's a government obligation, ladies and gentlemen. If the government, I'm sorry, let me explain to you. Since 1933, March 9th, the United States has been in a state of declared national emergency. Well, who gets to declare an emergency? The President of the United States. Okay? He's the overseer of the country. He's the head. He's the CEO. These proclamations, that's right. Declared national emergency didn't say nothing about no proclamations, did it? These proclamations gave force to 470 provisions of federal law. Now, they're including these with Nixon and Truman's proclamations, but we don't concern ourselves with Nixon and Truman. These hundreds of statutes delegate to the president extraordinary powers normally exercised by Congress, which affect the lives of American citizens in a host of all-encompassing manners. One of those ways that it affects your lives, people, is your ability to pay a debt. I understand this, but you haven't been understanding this. That what Congress did in 1933 blocked your way of paying any debt, and the only thing you can do is discharge the debt through the United States Department of Treasury. Some people, I see the wheels. Oh, look at them wheels turning. Oh, look at that. They're moving so fast. Oh, the steam. You done put oil on them wheels, huh? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's not your debt. Did they not just tell you that they accepted the debt on behalf of you guys when they enacted all these laws blocking your access to government? That's what this did. It blocked your access to government. That's why it allows the president, they delegated their authority to the president, ignoring the Constitution. This is what they said. I didn't say this. These hundreds of statutes delegate to the president extraordinary powers that we should be exercising, which affect the lives of American citizens. And our violating the law has had a detrimental impact on the American population. See, it said American citizen. It did not say United States citizen, did it? Anybody see United States in there? It said American citizens. We know that there's a difference. This vast range of powers taken together confer enough authority to rule this country without reference to normal constitutional process, which means that they blocked American citizens from access to redress. So, sue them, people. You have a company that is claiming that you have not tendered a payment. Sue them for claiming that you have not tendered a payment. Go before the court and have the court state on the record that there is another manner or means in which for you to discharge a government obligation. Let the court say on the record that it is not a government obligation. But that's going to take too long. I need something that's quick and easy. Ladies and gentlemen, your ignorance is what has prevented it from being quick and easy. Because you simply didn't understand this. Because everybody has been part of this so-called system. Look, you guys are the ones who are materialistic. That's right, I said it. You heard me say it. Well, I ain't material. Yes, you are materialistic. That's why your debt is so high. You knew before you decided to get involved in all that. Look, breach of contract. So, what I'm going to tell you so that you all understand, you have a contract with these businesses that want to do business in America. They already know, well, some of these companies are up and coming companies and they don't know, they don't study this stuff. Yes, they do. Do you not understand they're required to know this stuff? You start a business in the US, you start a business under the corporation. You are a subsidiary of the United States government. Why? Because you're under the state, which is under the United States. You're a subsidiary. That entity, that agency that's created. Again, remember, this is a government debt. You are government obligations. Oh, God. Sorry, I do that because I know you guys don't understand it. I tried to show it to you. And you need to, oh, I went to the wrong window. I need to go to this one. I tried to tell you guys. And this song right here, she'll do, she'll do, she'll do. Like the song, y'all. And so we're going to end with that song. Understand, they told you right here, it will represent a mortgage on all of the homes and other property of all of the people of the nation. When the government decided to declare the banking holiday and declare bankruptcy, they did it on behalf of all of the people of America. Remember, they represent the people. That's why they're called representatives. Pay attention. That's why they're called representatives. You are property, people. They literally conferred all of your belongings to the debt. They took charge of it without you saying, hey, wait a minute, hold up. You can't take my, no, I'm going to take care of my own. Nope, they didn't give you that chance because nobody spoke up. The people who did speak up didn't bring up the right arguments. It's too late to change it. We can't go back, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot unring a bell. Okay? You cannot, there are no do-overs. This is the way it is, not the way it should be, the way it is. So because it is this way, you all need to understand. Now, please understand, I'm sorry that so many of you are lost and you're stuck. But I can't help you get unstuck. I can't teach you that which you should have already have known. I can't help make you understand the law. That's not my job. And I've not volunteered for that job, and that's been the problem. Many people think that that's my job, that I'm supposed to come to the captain of the Rainbow Rescue. Ladies and gentlemen, I ain't got nothing to do with no rainbow. I ain't got nothing to do with no Skittles or those idiots who are out there dancing around in so no skinny shorts. That ain't my job. Okay, I ain't got nothing to do with none of that. I am not here to come to your rescue. I am not your rescue agent. My job is to announce to people what's about to happen, referencing the entire world, not what's about to happen referencing the United States. Like I said, all the stuff concerning the United States, all the things they're doing is global. This is not local. Did you not hear them talk about how they were doing this campaign of March for Our Lives around the world? Why? Because they're paying these individual actors to come in and march. You think all of those people are people who feel they should be marching? No. They're paying many of those people to go out there and give these speeches, and the speeches are written ahead of time and all of this stuff. People, they're doing this to you. Do we need gun control? Ladies and gentlemen, the moment they sat up there and made guns, we needed gun control. The moment they sat up there and made missiles and bombs and tanks, we needed gun control. But that's not my problem. That's not your problem either. The reason why we don't have gun control is because the people whom you all have gone out there and think, I'm voting for him because I like the way he gives speeches. That's your fault. I don't vote. Well, if you don't vote, then you don't have a say. Oh, I do have a say. You see, the God I serve, that's why I don't vote, because he's the king. He says he's the president of everything. So why would I vote for some stupid man to change things when man hasn't been able to change anything? Now, don't you get mad at me for saying that, because all of you agree with me. See, you are all man. Whether you're woe man or man, you're man. So I say again, you haven't been able to change anything in your life. How in the world can these men change anything in the lives of others if they can't even change the junk going on in their lives? The more I find out about these sex rings and these senators and these congressmen and these orgies that these senators and congressmen are having, and I'm including the females too. You guys know about Hillary and her campaigns and her past, okay? The more I hear about that stuff, the more I understand that we can't stop what's about to happen. By the way, those of you who paid attention to me when I told you to go and look at the 10th and 11th season of the X-Files and focus on the global pandemic that they keep talking about. When it happens, don't say you were right. Don't y'all dare say I was right when it happens, because they're letting you guys know what they're getting ready to do. As a matter of fact, if you pay attention to the 10th and 11th seasons of the X-File, that is their main focus, is talking about that global pandemic. How they're going to put forth, they call it a pathogen that spreads throughout the world and gets out of control, but their intent is mass death. You think you're going to survive? Think you can handle it? Think you can go crawl underneath a little tent and protect yourself? Think you can go underground into some shelter, some bunker, and protect yourself? Ladies and gentlemen, they've already thought about all of that. They already know that there's only a certain percentage, and they're looking for something like 15% of the population to survive. They already know that. They know that there is a 15% that they cannot get around. It's like I tell people about when you make copies of a document, you keep making copies and keep making copies, keep making copies. Eventually, you won't be able to read what the document was in the first place. If you don't believe me, go and look at the Bureau of Land Management, how you can't read their documents. Okay? You cannot. It's scientifically misunderstood. They can't even explain why that is the case. So this 15 percentile, that's why I call myself part of the 14%. There's 14% of the population that can't be manipulated, that can't be indoctrinated, that can't be forced or made to do something. It's not something I choose to be, it's the way I is. Okay? So there's 15% of the population that they will not be able to affect, and they know this, and they're willing to live with that number. You see, they can do the worst they can do, and they know that 15% won't be affected by what they're doing in this instance. However, if they really wanted to wipe out the other 15%, that's what the bombs are for. I know, something to think about, but you all need to stop paying attention to that news junk that they call headline news. The reason why I don't know about a lot of things going on is because I don't watch the news. Now, I do pay attention to some of the stories because I have to, because of the prophecies that foretell the last days. I have to keep abreast of current events, including the information that is in the Watchtower and Awake magazine. Why? Because that's how we keep updated on things. The rest of you can be lost, can be out there saying, "Well, I'm not. Shoot, I'm this, I'm that," and we don't keep abreast of anything. All we do is we rely on faith. So let me ask you. Jehovah's Witnesses have been telling people about the time of the end since 1879 and before. Well, actually, since, think about 1473 BCE. Well, anyway, and that being the case, how come nobody else is talking about it? Yeah. I hear people talking about doomsday. Remember December 23rd, November 23rd, whatever those other dates that these idiots were talking about the world was supposed to end. Ladies and gentlemen, when the Bible talks about the world ending, it's not talking about the planet. It's talking about the people. And it's not talking about all of the people. No, it's talking about the ignorant people. The ones who don't want to do nothing, don't want to pay attention. They just want to be a part of the matrix. That's the world. Just like in the Matrix, you guys need to understand that's what the Matrix was all about. Just another somebody telling of what the Bible foretold, but they did it in a way that they added their junk to it. You can't add to prophecy. You can't add to scripture. But they try. Okay, so that being the case, we're here now. What are you going to do? You're going to keep doing the same things? You think somehow you're going to get rich by the end of the year. You think somehow everything's going to get better. People, do you not understand? Things are foretold to get worse, not better, for you and for me. And yes, I'm a little disturbed by the progression of things. I'm a little disturbed by the courts and how they won't listen. And the only thing, after meditating and thinking and going over all of our options, the only thing I can come up with is we have to attack. You got to stop sitting back looking for the opportunity to get a jab or two in. No, we have to attack, and we have to attack, and we have to hit the same spot. We have to keep going for the chin. No more body blows. Body blow. No more body blows. Uppercut, up. We need to go for that chin. Let them protect their face. We need to be uppercutting and going for the chin. Why? Because we're trying to knock these fools back into oblivion. We won't be able to, but the idea is we have to at least attempt to do that. If we lay down, they will steamroll. So what I'm suggesting to each one of you, go back, listen to the video where I told you about bringing up the federal questions. Use those documents on the website with the young men's at their webpage to do your lawsuit, your federal questions lawsuit. Go back and look at the Rob Ryder video. See how Rob Ryder sent his federal question to the court. No, I'm going to say it again. His federal question was sent to a magistrate, and it's eventually going to be kicked back, and you're going to see. I'm just letting you know because of the way the question was structured. You have to set your federal question in such a way that when you ask the question, you ask it only in one way. That makes it, no matter how they respond, they admit to something they don't want to admit to. Pay attention. 3 years going on 2 months, 3 years and 2 months for a federal appeal to be heard, and it wasn't even a massive case. The reason being is because I posed several questions that are catch-22 questions. So that's why I say, if some of you are patient, give me about 2 weeks. We'll come up with the questions that you guys are going to go in and ask the federal courts. And you're going to ask your state courts. And you're going to go in asking state constitutional question or a federal constitutional question. Because remember, this is about the Constitution. Many people want the Constitution to be upheld. Well, let's do that. Let's get their attention, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get their attention. So this is me giving you a little bit of information. My hope is that some of you who are sensible, reasonable, and who want to take a little bit of time, see, you all talk about how you want to help. You all talk about how you want to help and how you want me to put up a donate button or something so you all can donate. People, first, let me make sure you understand. I don't ask you to donate because why would I want to take your money from you? You're not to support my life. I have a rich father and he takes care of me. So I'm going to rely on him, not you. Okay? So I am not going to be, well, you can donate. I have a PayPal account. I have a Facebook account. I have a MySpace account. I have a Google account. You're not going to hear me saying nothing like that. Why? Because I am not going to make a living off of you. Sure, I could spend my days doing research and giving you all the information in the world. And then saying, I need your help. How am I going to pay my bills? Ladies and gentlemen, I ain't doing that to none of you. Okay? I believe that if you pay attention to doing the lawsuit for the insurance and for the trading of your property on the market and not giving you any of the proceeds from that investment, remember, you invested in the insurance because you paid the insurance premiums. The bank didn't pay anything. You paid the insurance premiums. And if you paid those insurance premiums, they at least owe you that back. But you're doing this because you want to pull their comprehensive annual financial report. You don't say this at the beginning. You let them come back and argue, saying that you don't have a right. Then you say, oh no, they've received credits, tax breaks, and that's what you want to get them on. The moment they do a charge off and they wait 6 months so they can do the charge off because they need the tax credit. Ladies and gentlemen, as long as they received that credit and they didn't credit your account with that credit, they defrauded you. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Oh, why don't you just come out and say it? Because some of you just want to come and get the icing off the cake. You don't want to eat the meal. No, you just want the icing on the cake because that's the best part of the meal. And I ain't giving you that icing unless you sit here and you listen. And you're going to have to put up with me. That's the only way you're going to get the information. All right, as I told you, that was our last song that we played a minute ago. We got an hour and 4 minutes going on. So I'm just going to say I hope this information proves helpful. I'm definitely going to try to not do another video for the next 4 days at least because I have to work on the lawsuit. And the lawsuit has to be worded because of what I'm doing. My lawsuits and the way I do things is there to benefit other people as well. And I have 2 different lawsuits that I have to file, plus I have the federal lawsuit that I have to file for the Defrauded Homeowners of America, the second one, and then I got to do the appeal for the first one. So everything is on track, people. I'm not losing any steps, any stride. It's just they think they have a plan. I assure you, I had a plan before all of this began. So everybody, Put on your seatbelts, strap up that little hat on your head, get your Donald Trump attached to that face. We got a ride, we got a way to go, and we're about to do some traveling. Good night, good afternoon, good morning. See y'all later. Goodbye.